Hi everyone, Mary Carg. Thanks for joining me again. We're going to be doing the fun part today, the coloring on the copper that we've prepped. I have pulled some my pencils. I have several sets, and I always tell everybody to get as many Prismacolor Premier color pencils as they can afford. And I've pulled some various colors and all the different shades that I'm going to color my little kingfisher. I like to start light to dark. I've already started applying some white just because sometimes it can be kind of boring to watch me color one thing all one color. But I have printed out a little photo of a little kingfisher, and that's kind of the colorway that I'm going to use today. And I've taken the time to kind of sketch him out and just so I know how I'm going to plan my colors. And so let's get started. The first color, like I said, that I like to use is the lightest color, or white, kind of as a base, to sort of combat all that green and coppery color that we got when we were prepping the metal. And this way I get more true colors, I get brighter colors, and everything is not so green. You're not fighting it so much. I will, since his eye is going to be black, I'm going to go ahead and go right in with the black. No sense in trying to go from light to dark on that, since it's going to end up dark anyway. And then I'm just going to continue on coloring all of the green and any copper, that old copper that might be showing through. Making sure all of the green is covered up. And just kind of get a light coating of where all that is, over all the raw metal. Okay, so that's kind of what it looks like to start out with. I like to just use my hands, and I just kind of lightly rub the surface of where I've colored. Make sure it's really almost burnished down into the rough edges of all that we did, all that roughing up that we did. I'll go back and add some more in some places that might have not taken. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is start applying and laying down the colors of the bird. I've started with the light orange. I'm going to work my way up to this kind of orangey red color that is in his belly and down into his tail. Also, I'm going to do a little bit around his eye. Kind of almost looks like he's got a mask. A band of color around his eye. Again, rubbing as I go. I'm going to take this light teal. I'm going to start laying down some of the colors that are in his wing. Along his head. Blending that. I'm going to come down here and get his tail. I'm going to go ahead and do his wing since this is layered. Get some of that pretty turquoisey teal going on his wing. Under his neck, he's got a little bit of a white crest, so I'm going to knock that back a bit. And I'll be able to do this even more as I add more layers after I spray. I'll add some darker red. Some of that darker teal. I'll start adding some of that into the wing area along his head. Down the bottom of his tail feathers. Blending as I go. You might notice that he's not all one solid color. There's a lot of variegation going on as we add, and that is what really gives your drawing more interest, more depth, more character, if you will. I'm going to go in and go kind of light over that light white and make his beak pretty blue. I'm going to go back over it. I'm going to add a little black to make that really dark. I'm going to hit his eye again. And come back here and even add some black into the wing to give it some more depth. Notice I'm still rubbing as I go. Gonna add some more red. And I'm starting to notice that, particularly down in here, I'm not getting much more color to go on to the piece, and that tells me I'm getting pretty close to being ready to spray. And once we spray, we can come back and add more layers and more depth to our little guy here. So I'm going to kind of finish this up and go spray, and I'll be right back. Wanted to get a quick picture of how it looks when it's wet, and hopefully you can see that the piece actually looks wet. It's not dripping, that it's so heavy. It's just one light coat, and I will be back when it's dry. Okay, I'm back. I've started adding some more layers of color after it dried. Took a little over 5 minutes. It's hot and humid here today in Cincinnati, so it took a little longer than maybe normally than it would. Atmosphere plays a big part in how fast things dry around here. For those of you in the Desert, probably things will dry really fast, but it's a bit moist here. So the second layer is when I can really go in and get some really nice detail in my drawing, some where it looks more like feathers, less like just flat coloring. Drawing and coloring did not come naturally to me. You know, I've had to get in there and experiment a bunch. You know, coming from a metalsmith and a glass bead background, and I actually have a degree in business. I didn't go to art school, so I had to kind of make a lot of ugly things before I got something that, you know, I wasn't too embarrassed to show to the general public. So don't feel bad if your first attempt at coloring is maybe not what you had in mind. And this is a pretty more complicated drawing than maybe you should do at the very beginning, but I did want to show what you can do with it. If you go on my website, Mary Card Designs, you know, you can see that you can actually, you know, you can do Zentangle drawings. You can get a lot of detail, a lot of, you know, you can do some really pretty things just with range of colors and sort of an ombre effect, and but you can also do some really cute little landscapes and, like I said, some Zentangle designs. You know, for those of you that are really good at drawing, you know, this will be a breeze. But shouldn't discourage you if it's not your first love either. Okay, I'm going to get some orange in there. I love these little kingfishers. They always look like they're the original Angry Birds with their long beaks and kind of frowny faces. And they're beautiful markings. Again, I'm going to kind of blend in with my fingers. He's starting to kind of look like him. The wing could use some more color. I kind of been neglecting him. So when this gets riveted together, it'll be raised up and look like he's kind of flying, hopefully. I'm going to finish this up a bit, and I'm going to go spray again, and then I'll be ready for another layer. So my little kingfisher pin is all finished with the color pencil part. He's got 4 layers of color pencil and spraying, He is going to go on and get riveted together and be turned into a pin. But if he wasn't, if I was finished and he was just going to be kind of this cute little thing, I would put a layer of Renaissance wax on, rub that all over it, allow that to dry, and then lightly buff with a soft cotton, old t-shirt, old towel, whatever you have, something very smooth, very soft, and that will give that nice finish, that sort of buttery feel to how I like my color pencil to look. And that's basically it. I'll be continuing on with the next video and to demonstrate how to rivet it and to put the final little touches to it. So thank you for looking at the video, and we'll see you next time.